Every week, my amazingly generous channel members get to decide which piece of Minecraft Bedrock Marketplace content I cover. This is Channel Members Tuesday, and this week, we're taking a look at the latest pick. The add-on that we're featuring in today's video is the Electrical Creativity add-on by Netherpixel. It costs 830 mine tokens and comes in at 2 megabytes in size. Let's jump in and see how much content you actually get in today's add-on. So when you load into a brand new world, you're given the Electrical Creativity Guide. And let me just tell you this straight away off the bat. I'm not going to be able to feature everything in this add-on. This add-on is way smarter than me, and you're going to see that when I read this book, okay? So try and follow along with me, and I'll try to explain as best I can what I can. But you get the book, and when you open it, it's a menu. It says the Electrical Creativity Guide. Electrical Creativity is an add-on focused on implementing an operational energy system that uses pure and non-pure energy. This system facilitates the incorporation of various blocks and tools that are intended to increase the player's abilities in survival mode. And from that one paragraph, you should already know that this is one smart cookie of an add-on. Let me tell you, they used some big words there. That is not reading age 12. Let me tell you that to begin with. It then says the add-on includes a network of interconnected blocks, generators, actuators, and special tables that enable the creation of functional and versatile systems. Some blocks facilitate the automation of simple tasks, while others assist in resource management or expand the player's construction and combat skills. Using the energy produced, it is possible to provide power to digital tables, energize doors and hatches, item transfer nodes, rechargeable plasma weapons, and tools, as well as special blocks such as the plasma bridge. Systems are also incorporated to create digital pets from DNA, ornamental elements, teleportation mechanisms, climate regulation, and teleportation. There are more syllables in 90% of those words than I have ever read before. So yeah, basically, this is a very smart sci-fi style add-on which involves creating a bunch of machines from both a pure energy and a non-pure energy. And what I believe that means is one of the energy is done like naturally from movement, so like water turbine energy where it's created from waves, or sunlight energy, and one of them is created from like charging a battery and using electrical appliances like that. Is kind of how I've got that understood. And then in the book, let's not read it that way. In the book, we've got 3 buttons. We've got concepts. So here we can learn about energy, the pure and the non-pure. In Electrical Creativity, that's the name of this add-on, there are 2 types of energy, pure and non-pure. Pure energy is only generated by blocks like the furnace energy, clock panel, or water wheel. So essentially heat, daylight, and water. It is transmitted directly from the generator using reinforced cables and can activate any block that requires pure energy and non-pure energy. Non-pure energy can come from generators, but also from extra sources like mob sensors, connectors, or batteries. It is transmitted using normal cables and can only activate blocks that do not require pure energy. Each block specifies the type of energy it needs in its guide description. If you connect the wrong type of energy, the block will not work. Now, there's a couple very key points there. First of all, you're going to want to keep this book with you because, yeah, anything you're working on here, this book's going to need to tell you how to do it, and you're probably going to need to read it 3 or 4 times. If you're smarter than me, if you're as smart as me, 6 or 7 times minimum. Just putting it out there, okay? But also, the other thing to note, you have to make sure you're using the correct type of energy on the block because the block will not work. And that can be as simple as you won't be able to open the crafting table that this add-on introduced if it doesn't have the right power. And it will make it seem like the block is broken. So just bear that in mind, okay? So if we go back to concepts and we go back into here, did I finish reading this? Yes, I did. Okay. Then we have accessing interfaces. So some blocks only show their interface if they are receiving energy. If a block requires pure energy, it must be connected to a generator using reinforced cables. If it needs non-pure energy, it can receive it from a generator, connector, which is spelt wrong, mob sensor, or battery using normal cables. If the block has no energy, its interface cannot be accessed. So for example, they give the example of the teleport. The teleport only shows its interface if it's connected to pure energy, but also some blocks require additional conditions to show their interface. Some require you to be holding or having a specific item in your inventory, the block being in a special state, or meeting an environmental condition. The weather control, for instance, only shows its interface if it has all 4 charges filled. I cannot stress to you enough, this is way over my head. Way over my head here. Most blocks can connect to cables from any side. However, there are exceptions. Some blocks only allow connection from specific sides. Also, some blocks that do not have a perfect cube shape cannot be directly connected to a cable. In those cases, you must use an intermediate block called the receiver, so the block can receive energy. Now, what that basically means is if the block isn't a cube, if it's not an actual block, it will need the receiver so that the cable can essentially connect to it. If it's a block like the crafting table on the screen there, then it will just attach to a cable in most instances. Each block indicates in the guide section if it requires a receiver to connect, so you will still need the book. There are non-cubic blocks that can connect directly to a cable without needing a receiver. How to visually identify if a block is connected. When a block is properly connected to a cable, the cable extends and visually merges with the side of the block. You'll see the cable continue and blend into the block, forming a seamless joint, essentially like when you place down redstone and it attaches to a block. If the block is not connected, the cable won't extend towards that face, or it will appear detached, not touching the block. On specially shaped blocks, the connection might appear as a cable that ends directly on the block's surface or connects to a nearby receiver. Now, this is all well and good. Another way to know whether or not the cable is working on the block is you will see it change to have a form of energy flowing through. So when you place the cable on a block, it may attach to the block and have no color to it. That means it's the wrong type of cable for that block or the wrong type of energy. If it connects to the block and you see a color in the middle, then you'll know it's connected and working. But I'll show you that in a moment. So that's all of that information. And I hope you guys can see why I'm not going to be able to show you everything on this, because there's a lot. You guys are probably smarter than me, so I hope you'll be able to work this out. In this guide, there are menus, essentially, for connectors, generators, interactors, batteries, tables, actuators, and then some blocks that have no category, like a teleport checkpoint, digital trapdoor, digital door, digital block. So you're going to need to read all of this if this seems like your cup of tea. I have a feeling most of my audience is already going to say this is not their cup of tea, but you never know. Like I say, you guys are smarter than I am. So once we come out of that, we also have the item section. In this section, you will find the items added by the add-on and their descriptions. We have containers, we have plasma weapons, plasma tools, DNA capsules, digital mob eggs, and no category, again, where there are a few other things. I will show you some of this. I won't be able to show you all of it. My brain power is just not there. So hopefully you guys will continue this ride with me and we'll see what I can show you and what I can work out. So please stay with me. Let's head over and let's first begin by checking out the armors and the weapons. Now, at first glance, it looks like there are 6 different weapons and armors in total, but really the answer is 4, and we'll get to that in a moment. So we'll start first of all with this one, and if I can pick this up off the armor stand, it is, come on, there we go, it is the fast plasma weapon, and if we shoot it, it's very rough with the sound. I can't hold it down to spray it like an SMG. If we was in survival and we fire it, it does have durability. It gets 100 and something usages. I can't remember what the exact number is, and it can be recharged. That noise shooting it is absolutely terrible though. It sounds like somebody's gone next to a microphone and gone pew, pew. So I don't know why there, but if we get a witch out here, what kind of damage are we dealing? Okay, so we do hit. I really don't like it though. I think it's so rough. I'm not a big fan of guns in Minecraft anyway, but I do think that sounded quite rough, quite bad. And then we've got what is called the, if we could pick it up again, pick it up, pick it up. Come on. It doesn't want to give it to me. It does not want to take it off him. There we go. So this is now the plasma drill, and there are two. There is a plasma drill unloaded and there is a plasma drill loaded. And the reason for that, if I can pick this one up to show you as well, is because the energy that this takes, when it runs out of energy, it becomes the unloaded version. So there is, for some reason, both types here in the creative menu. But if we go down here, we might as well have a look and see how this works. So go into survival. I don't really know. All right, it seems to work a little bit better. I don't know how this works. Hang on a second. How does this go? This is very rough. So it lets you do a usage with L2. Oh, now it does. Oh yeah, now it does. But doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, but you can just drill the block. All right, fair dues. If you use R2 or whatever the the normal attack button is for you, you can drill stone. I was expecting it to be better in terms of how it would move. I suppose you got fast. I don't really know if it's changing any settings or not, but it's drilling it down. I'm basically punching a block. I was kind of hoping it would do it a lot faster or it would do a larger area, but that doesn't seem to be the case there. But instead of using a pickaxe, you can use a plasma drill, which does it one block at a time. And then when it runs out of energy, it will become the unloaded version. And then we have this thing, which if I can then pick this up, please, thank you. This is called the plasma lighter. And same again, when it runs out, it becomes an unloaded thing. The plasma lighter is basically flint and steel, really. It's a little bit weird in that sense, but there you go. And now these plasma blocks, they should be rechargeable as well. And then lastly, then we're going to grab these, which again, a little bit rough to get off, are the plasma boots. This gives you speed. I want to say that's speed 4, but my Roman numerals are terrible. And as we're running around, you can see here. Now, it does note in the book that none of the weapons, none of the armors are enchantable. They have no durability. They just run out of energy as you go. So just bear that in mind. But really, other than like gimmicks, I don't think the weapons and the armors are the important part of this add-on. So let's move on to the items now. And then hopefully that will frame us ready for the blocks. Now then, in terms of items in this add-on, there's a fair few here, so we'll get started at the top then. We have a teleport point, which would be used with the teleporter, I guess, to tell you where to go or where to teleport to. Then you've got the plasma refined ore, and you've got a plasma scrap. We've also then got a chest sorter item, which I think if you interact with this on a chest, it sorts it for you. I'm not 100% sure. We can have a look in the book actually and see. Let's go to items. Let's go to no category. Let's go chest sorter. This object organizes the inventory of the chests. It has an interface that allows you to select whether the sorting is done by object name or by including the add-on tag, and whether the order is ascending or descending. It has 15 usages before breaking, and you've got the crafting recipes there as well. The crafting recipes are in the book for practically everything. So let's go and see. Let's give this a test then, shall we? I know people are going to be interested in this. So we'll go for chest. We'll also grab tons of this stuff. We'll grab, let's go for a few of those. And if we go to the bottom down here as well, we'll get a few that are just for the add-on as well. So why not grab whatever these are? Maybe not, because there's not a load of those. Do we have any that we can get loads of? Let's get, yeah, 64 of those will be good. And 64 of those will be good. So we're going to place this into here. Let's throw one, all of this into here, like so. Thank you very much. So if we go up to it with the chest sorter, I'll go into survival for this. No. Crouch. Okay, so if you crouch and do it, so if you sort for add-on tags, how does that make it look? Descending or ascending? Descending. You get a little bit of noise. And then it seems to have put all of the vanilla first and then those second. So if we do that again, sort for add-on tags, ascending this time. We get the add-on items first. Not in alphabetical order. Well, they are, but in reversed alphabetical order. And then we get the Minecraft vanilla blocks. If we sort for only names by descending, so I think this is A to Z, we should have bamboo, birch. There you go. So if you want your items easily sorted alphabetically or vanilla first or add-on first, the chest sorter is for you. We then have a circuit breaker and an iron button, which can be used in the creative blocks that you've got over there and machines. You've got a plasma capsule and an unloaded one. We've got a battery cell and an unloaded one. We've got a broken tool switcher. Now, this is kind of cool. So if you're in survival when you interact, where are we? For some reason, it doesn't want to work. Why is it not working? Interact to the floor. There you go. You can enable tool switcher. And what that means is whenever your item breaks, it will switch to another one of that version and automatically replace it for you in your inventory, which I think is quite good, can be quite helpful. I think Essentials has something similar like that, actually. We've then also got the charged amethyst. We've got a digital egg empty, which is used for creating the DNA pets. And speaking of DNA pets, everything else down here is for those. So you get a digital DNA capsule, which can be used to store the digital DNA data of certain pets, such as a cat, or you also get a broken one of them or a damaged one. You can get a cow, an iron golem, a sheep, a skeleton. You can get a damaged digital wolf. You can get a wolf itself, and you can get a capsule zombie. And then when you do what you need to do with one of the blocks, I'll show you that shortly, you then get these things, which is to be able to spawn a digital version of the mobs. So if we grab one of each of these, I'll spawn these in for you to show you. So you can get a digitally spawned cat, which looks like that, and it becomes your pet, and it's got the little thing hovering over it. Futurization, right? Let's just turn everything a little bit green. I think you could have been a lot more creative than this, to be fair. There's a cow as well, which, there you go. And apparently these are meant to be your pets. You've got an iron golem, and it really is just putting a green overlay on some of these. You get a sheep, which, okay, it's not even quite the Matrix, to be fair. You've got a skeleton, a wolf, and a zombie. You'll also notice that none of these are being damaged by the sun. And if I go into survival, because they're my digital pets, they're not interested in fighting me, even if I hit them. So there you go. That's the items that you get. It kind of all doesn't really make much sense. So let's go and have a look at the blocks. Why are they all coming up to me? Leave me alone. Let's go and have a look at the blocks, and let me try and explain a few of the devices so you can see just how smart this add-on thinks it is. And just before we go, I've tried to kill this iron golem like 3 times, and for some reason he doesn't want to die. So I don't know how you get rid of these pets. I'm trying to interact on it to just make it go to sleep. No, but when you kill it, for some reason, it goes into this, and then it will wake up again, which is going to be really annoying. But yeah, I thought I'd just let you guys know. Maybe don't spawn an iron golem. It's not great. If you're enjoying today's video, make sure you hit that like button. Drop a comment down below as well and get your voice heard. Let us know what you think about today's pack being covered. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button as well. If you'd like to support the channel and help me make content, then please do consider hitting the join button and becoming a channel member today. There are multiple different tiers available that give you access to custom emojis, a custom badge next to your name, as well as a priority suggestion for Channel Members Tuesday every single month. You can also get your name in the description, and if you're a Mega Dazzling or above, you can get your name at the end of every video I post. So if you have the means to, please do consider becoming a channel member today. All right then, so with the blocks that we get here, I'm going to do my best to explain the ones I understand, that there's a lot that I don't. So let's start over here first of all. We have cables, we have reinforced cables, and we have repeaters. We then have an analyzer, a receiver, a copper mob spawner. Now, I know this one, there is a list of items. Yeah, he's going to be here for the whole thing. There are a list of items in the book, which if we go and have a look at really quickly, it's blocks, and then is it no category for the copper one? Charged? No, not this one. Where is it? It's somewhere in here. Actuators. Yeah, copper mob spawner. There are a list of a few items like raw chicken, raw beef, gunpowder, raw pork chop, raw mutton, bone, and rotten flesh to be able to make this into an actual mob spawner. But the gimmick behind this is that it runs out. It oxidizes and it will rust over, and when it rusts over, I believe you won't be able to use it anymore. So just bear that in mind. You also have the recipe down here, which it needs a skulk block apparently. And every time the book mentions the work table in the book, I believe it means the crafting table. So just bear that in mind if you're looking over. But that's a copper mob spawner there. We've then got a plasma bridge receiver. We've got a flashlight. We've got batteries, and the batteries come in different energy quantities, I guess. So you've got charge 1, charge 2, charge 3, charge 4, and charge 5. And I can show you guys on here as well that when you place them down, it does use up power from what I can see. So let's grab this and we'll place it down. So we've got battery standard, we've got battery 1, battery 2, battery 3, 4, 5. As you can see, they have different levels to them there. And I tried to have them displayed, but they run out of power. So that's why we're doing it this way. Next up then, we have a battery charger as well. We've got a digital table, which is basically a digital workbench that lets you get the mob stuff. We've got a plasma reloader to recharge your plasma weapons. We've got a destruction table, which is essentially an uncrafter. But when you use this, you don't get all of the materials back. You get most of them back, or some of them back. We've got the teleport. We've got the weather control. We've got a water wheel, a clock panel, a furnace energy, a mob sensor, a connector, resource recycler, item transfer node, a farmer, a liquid solidifier, a digital TNT, a charged amethyst block, a teleport checkpoint. We've got a digital door and trapdoor. We've got charged amethyst crystals and a budding charged amethyst. We've got digital blocks, and we've got a drop box. Now the drop box will randomly appear in plains biomes as if it's fallen from the sky, and it will have new, like, items in it for you to use, some that you can only get from the drop box as well. So just keep an eye out for that if you are using it. Now, the question that usually comes from this and add-ons like this is, how do you create things in this with all of these elements? So I tried to make it work. And so I went over here. I thought we'd pick something quite weird. So I've got the farmer here. And to make the farmer work, I decided to go down here and use a water wheel. So let's start with a few of these things first. So for the water wheel, the element here is it will go in water like so, but you have to make sure there's no block in front or behind it. Otherwise, there's no wave being created. So if I break that now, and then I break that one, you'll see it will start working. It starts generating the power, which is going through here, which is going through a reinforced cable. If I block that again, just to show you, that should run out of power. There you go. Like I said, you lose the color in the middle. So if we clear that through, like so, it's generating the power that we need. We get it animated as well. It's moving. The power's come up here, and we're feeding the power onto the farmer from the top. Now, the farmer, you place water in. You place a bucket of water in like I have here. And then what you want to do is place it on a 7x7 grid, or at least it's checking a 7x7 area to make sure everything has grown. So if I grab these carrots here, for instance, and we place all of these down, what I'll do is I'll increase the tick speed of the game, and I'll show you how it works. It's quite a neat little thing. It has some limitations, but I'll show you it before I tell you it. So let's go onto here, and on to there. And then if I place this one down here too, you'll notice as well, there is a bit of a fiddle in terms of, because it's not a full block, how you aim definitely matters around it. Otherwise it causes an issue or two. So if we go here, I'm going to go into settings and we're going to turn up the tick speed down here at the bottom. I'm going to make it 1000 for the case of this, like so. And we'll see my crop grows fast. A few crops grow, but it waits to make sure that all of them are grown. And then when it has fully grown, it releases the water, which it should do any second now. Something's hanging on. There we go. It releases the water and your farm has been farmed. Now, the limitation here is it doesn't plant seeds. You still have to go in and do that manually, and you still have to have a way to collect all of the bits if you don't want to do it manually as well. This is quite a rough version of a farm here. I just wanted to make sure it worked. Also as well, the repeater has to be used here, because after a certain set of time or space, we've got, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So either 15 or 16 blocks is when it runs out. So I put the repeater in and it does it again, very much like redstone. But that's the farmer block. I managed to make that work. I managed to understand the cabling and how that worked as well. Very good. Very cool. We then have this thing over here, which is called the clock panel. Now, the clock panel can also be used to power things like this over here, the battery charger. Now, I thought, if I grab an empty battery, I thought that it would be quite intuitive and you just place it on top like so, and it would give charge. I don't believe that's how it works. Once you've got power to the device, you then click on it to go into the menu, and you are then able to craft things. So if I go into survival, I'm going to go here, you'll see, get rid of that to craft the battery charge 5, or to have a fully charged battery, I need to put an empty battery in it. I think that's like the worst way to do it. I feel like it would have been nicer if there was more kind of interactivity in the sense that you place it down, you watch it charge up, but hey, that's what they've done. And then for a battery cell, for a full battery cell, you need to place an empty battery cell in there as well. And then to show you as well, let me click that and then break this in creative. When it's not got any power, if I try to interact with it, it does nothing because it needs to be powered to interact with. So place that down. Boom, there you go. That's how that works. Now, the clock panel, if I can remember the name, the clock panel can be powered from both the bottom and the top, and it can be powered by both the reinforced cable and a cable. So it does both types of energy here. And this here gives us access to the digital table, which if I go into survival, I can show you here. This is how we would get the digital spawn pets, as well as make a digital TNT and the trapdoors and doors. And to do that, you need to use the digital block as well as either a trapdoor or a door or a TNT block. So just bear that in mind as well. Same thing applies here too. If we break this, you can't interact with it. Let me make a space in my inventory to show you. You can't interact with that there. Or place that back down here to power that. As you can see, I powered it from the side at first. I'm now powering it from the top and it's working fine. Another thing as well, because this is a clock panel, it's essentially a daylight sensor. So if I click it, it's now become a nightlight sensor and it's no longer giving power. The same over here. If I do this one, can you go away? This one here, like so. I'm not actually sure what it's done there. Oh, there you go. It's run out. There you go. At nighttime. So then if I turn on the do daylight cycle and then I set it to nighttime, you'll see they're now powered at night, which is kind of cool. I like that. So you can have automation day and night. It's all right. I mean, it's a good little gimmick, isn't it? I don't quite know if this is an add-on I would use, but I'm here for it. I need to set that to false real quick. There we go. And then over here as well. Oh, that was me just showing you can change it from daylight to nightlight. So that was cool. Another one that I was able to work out, let's go over here, is the door. So If I turn that to nighttime at first, we've got the digital door, which when we pick it, gives us half of the block for some reason, but okay. Now this wouldn't be powered by just a cable. If I place this down and then I move this into daylight, the door doesn't care. When the door doesn't care, I can't interact with the door to open it. It's essentially an iron door with no power. If I break that, set that to night real quick and place down this block, which is the receiver, this is receiving power and it can now power the door. So set this to daytime and the door automatically opens. I still can't interact with it to close it, but there is a way to do it where it will open automatically at the daytime or close automatically at nighttime. I'm sure with the buttons and the circuit buttons and stuff, you can make it so it's more manual, but I couldn't make it work. One other thing I wanted to check while we were here was if we just had it powered from the top. Let's get rid of this. Can I do this from here and then here? Yeah. So you don't have to have it from the side. It can be powered from the top. And then I guess that would also mean that it could be powered from the bottom. So let's place that into there. Do you mind? Thank you. Grab that, and grab that. Get rid of that one. So yeah, you can power it from the top, the bottom, or the side. So however you want to do it is up to you. So that's the door. I managed to work that one out as well. Very happy. The next up then, another one that I worked out was the liquid solidifier. So certain liquids, such as a bucket of water, for instance, can be turned into a block. Now, I know what I hear you're saying. I hear it. I'm with you completely. A bucket of water? Well, it must turn into ice, right? No, it doesn't turn into ice. It turns into slime. Now, you can place a chest on the top of it, and after a set period of time, this will turn the water into a slime block. That slime block will be placed on the chest. I believe if you don't have a chest and you do this, the block gets spat out and you have to manually pick it up. So I'm trying to kill for time here to let this do what it needs to do. While we're waiting, another thing that we can have a look at is how to feed the liquid solidifier. So you can feed it via a hopper. Now they all have to be powered, as you can see here. It won't do anything if it's not powered. But if I put a bucket of water in the chest into the hopper, it should go into there. Doesn't seem to want to. I'm sure that said that it could do it. Let's have a look. So it goes blocks. We've got actuators, liquid solidifier, converts the liquid into a set, converts the liquid in the set into a solid block. It works by using a bucket of the liquid to be solidified in the block or with hoppers on the side. Aha, because I'm being stupid. So grab this and grab this. Let's get a hopper. Not going to show it broken if it's not broken. So we're going to go for this one. Let's place it into here. That makes sense, I suppose, because it's spitting out into a chest. We're going to place, I want to place a chest on here just to give me time to see it like that. And then we'll place this onto here. And when you do that, the bucket of water goes into the block, but the bucket gets spat back out. So you have to manually pick that up as well. There's nowhere for it to go, which again, I think is quite rough in how it does that. You can see here, it takes a while for it to become the block it needs to become because it's still not becoming the slime it needs to become. So we may need to check that again. But this is essentially a way to make a slime farm if you wanted to out of water, which makes no sense. And then the last one I'm going to show you because the rest were a little bit too smart. No, the second to last one I'm going to show you because the rest were a little bit too smart for me is this block here, which is the analyzer. Now the analyzer, you need to use certain things here. So if I grab this, for instance, you need to have a digital DNA capsule and you need to have a specific, what they call entity item to make what we need. Now I need to remember how to get this. DNA capsules, here we go. So to make the digital DNA capsule for a specific mob, you need to be able to find the right thing in here. Where is it? Digital mob eggs. Digital mob egg empty. No, this book is so difficult for me to remember where things are. DNA capsules, no. So maybe it's in the analyzer then. Let's go to blocks, actuators, analyzer, digital mobs. Here we go. So to make a specific digital mob, you need both the DNA capsule, an empty one, and you need a specific item. So for a cow, you need raw beef. So if I grab a raw beef from the menu here, we'll go raw beef. There it is. And we'll place this one down here. So again, this is being powered from the bottom, this one. If I grab my DNA capsule, first of all, you can see it takes the capsule ready, and then I give it my entity item, which is raw beef, and it will now start to make a digital mob capsule. As we can see here, the raw beef is being turned into a capsule. So we'll come back to that in a moment because I heard a click. The slime has been made from the water. Don't know how you get slime from water, but hey, there we go. That's that. Now this is going to take a little while, but when that does get done, it will give us this block right here. Nope, right here. The digital DNA capsule cow, which what you will then do is take over to this block here, which I need to power. Come on, Daz. Thank you. So you take it over to the digital table, get rid of that. And then to make the cow, you will need to get a digital egg empty, which you can get from a loot drop. And you'll need to then place this in and you'll be able to make what you need using the digital capsule. And there it is, just been spat out. It's very long-winded to do a lot of things that really doesn't interest me. So I'm doing my best here. I hope I'm doing okay. The last item I want to show you is actually a really cool item, a really cool block that I want to show you. This is called the plasma bridge receiver. Now with two of these over a block of up to 64 block distance, or over a distance of 64 blocks, if I say it correctly, you can make a plasma bridge to walk over. Now they need to be powered. So I've got this one powered by the clock panel here, and I've got this one over here powered by another clock panel. One was fed by a cable and one is being powered directly placed on top. If I set one of them to daylight, like so, it creates a bridge. You only need one of these receivers to be powered to make the bridge, meaning you can have one set to nighttime, one set to daytime, and depending on how the daylight cycle's done, it will always stay on. And when it's powered, you can just walk across and you've got yourself a bridge. Now, this is my favorite one of all of them, but because it was the one that I could understand the most, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm going to have to end it there because the rest is very much above me. I hope I was able to show you something to let you know how this add-on kind of works and whether or not it would interest you to make some awesome machines. Let me know down in the comments if you are interested by this, if you could work it out. Are you using it? Is it fun? Let me know and let us know down in the comments. Please do leave a like on the video. Thank you very much to my amazing channel members for suggesting another add-on for Channel Members Tuesday. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to get your suggestion prioritized on a Tuesday, please do become a member today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!